I'm going to talk about how I go about planning, presenting, and then promoting my LibPaths. I'm using promoting, not broadcasting, because it's alliterative. I needed the P, had to match him. How do I go about planning? Because I know a lot of what I hear from other teacher librarians who are already busy doing a million other things. How do I add this to my day when I'm already so busy? For me, it fits into my library strategic plan. And exactly like Andrea said, it fits in with our school strategic plan. And so when I go to the principal and go, this is what I'm doing, I can demonstrate how that's moving towards the goals of the library and the school. But it's also about what I use it for and how I use it so that I can demonstrate that. So for example, is it just curriculum based? Is it extracurricular? Ours initially started with curriculum based. Now I'm extending that into extracurricular. What is your library focused on? Is your library focused on reading? How are you showcasing that through your LibPaths or your curation content? Is it curriculum? Is it a mix of both? How do you intend to use that? I love how Andrea was talking about branding, because having that really clear brand about what your pages demonstrate to your school and the content that you create, how you lay that out, the color choices, everything, it all speaks to that. And I'm going to go into a little bit of that, how I worked with our marketing department to target that a little bit. But trying to fit it into your busy day, who is going to do this work for you? Is it you as the library technician, the teacher librarian, as the library team? You kind of need a plan. At the moment, it's the teacher librarians at my school. So I have a junior teacher librarian and myself in the secondary library. We're the ones putting together the curriculum-based content. With our OPAC pages, with our reading pages, we then draw upon our library technicians to help with that, creating lists, but come up with a bit of a plan on how this is going to work for you. At the moment, we based our creation on staff requests. So a staff member walks in and says, I'm doing a unit with my Year 9 history group on World War I. I need some resources. So I'm like, yep, I'll pull the books off the shelves for you, create a collection there, but I'll also create you a LibPath. And just before we started, I was thanking Andrea because Concord Infiniti have a LibPath portals where you can go and download these pre-created pages. And Andrea had already created the most incredible page on World War I. So I'm happily going to email that teacher tomorrow and say, yep, all done. And I didn't have to do any work at all, which I'm very pleased about. But I also recognize that when I look back at where I started and where I am now with my LibPaths, it's quite vastly different. So if you are worried about being able to create something like what we're going to see later with what Andrea shows us, I cannot create what Andrea creates. That's beyond my abilities at this stage, but I know I'm getting there. But no matter where you are in your creation journey or your ability to use these tools, it's a platform for you. I know that what I started with and how I was creating content was just some links. It was sort of minimal lists. And now when I look at that, I'm embedding things. I'm thinking more carefully about my layout of content. And so I can see how I've advanced in that, and I can see how that's starting to direct students in how they use it. And I can see how that there are further steps I can take, which is really exciting. But if you're thinking, there is no way I'm going to be able to create something like that, that's okay. Me neither, but there are techniques and skills and tools that you can use to start building that up. In terms of that, the layout and design, you can use columns, you can use first information at the top, those sort of things. You can add and remove backgrounds, you can create buttons and images and embedded websites so that students can use the website within these platforms. You can just list links, you can embed things from other sources that you use. I use ClickView a lot at our school, so I embed that a lot. My teachers are grateful for that, especially during online learning, because they're doing a particular film unit and they say, can you at least just start with the embedded ClickView film for me, because then I can send students straight there and they know that they've got access, rather than sending them, go to ClickView, find this, go to the, all of that. I have some go-to sources for when I need to find information, and I'm now experimenting with a variety of formats. So when we're curating that content, we're thinking more than just the list of books from the library or a list of links to websites. I'm embedding things like TikToks in our LibPaths because that's the sort of content that students are engaging with for particular topics. And then in terms of promoting, so how am I going to get this to the students and the staff? Whenever I am doing a session with students, I always start them with how to find our page. So we have it branded under the Pulse. So that's directly linked in our learning management system and in their portal page and on the school's website, library page, lots of different pages that they can access. But I take them through those steps every single time. And inevitably there's someone new that's like, what are you even talking about? So I've got to step them through. So I'm always showing them that. They have to navigate through that home page, and I'll show you that in a second, so that they know where they're going and how to find that before we get to the specific page that I want to take them in that session. Always doing that. We've got direct links. Sometimes we email that out. So, okay, dear year 11 English class, I've just created this for you. Sometimes it's embedded that the teachers have the direct link. Sometimes it's please go to the Pulse and find this. In terms of staff, I promote at staff meetings to say, you know, you're doing this topic, working with them. Would you like me to create a LibPath? I'm always asking that. Word of mouth has been incredible. I have now probably more than I can sometimes keep up with, because I have other teachers saying, oh, have you had a LibPath created for that? You should ask Maddie to create a LibPath for you on that. It's really, really spreading. I have a link on our staff portal, so I encourage the staff to find things there as much as the students would. We also have a request system. I do find that teachers don't use that. They usually just come and see me or email me, but they can put in a little ticket to say, yep, please give me this. I've attached the curriculum details. That's technically how that we like to do it, because then we can sort of filter them out, and I can go, okay, this one's for my library technician, please get textbooks out. This one's for me creating a LibPath. So if you're, especially if you've got multiple people creating these for you, that might be helpful. We share them across the wider community. So the system allows me to create widgets, and so then I can, when I'm writing a newsletter article about book talk, then I can embed some of my sections of LibPaths and content using those widgets, so I can share them, and they are accessible from a wider community, which is really great, so that anyone can see them without needing to log on, and then sharing them within the network, such as this sort of event, as well as I do show other librarians, oh, this is what I've got on this section, and I mentioned the portal, which we'll explore in a little while.